Well, today we're going to talk about planting tomatoes from seed indoors. If you're a beginning gardener and have always wanted to plant tomatoes from seed but are intimidated to do so, there's no reason to be intimidated. It's super easy, it's quick, and most of the time you can use materials that you already have around your own house. The big advantage that I like about starting my tomatoes from seed is that I can plant many different varieties, many different heirloom organic varieties that you wouldn't find at your normal big box store when you go to pick up those little tomato plant starts. So I would highly recommend it, and you get some wonderful, different colored, wonderful tasting tomatoes when you start your plants from seed. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to plant about 15 varieties of tomatoes this year. Most of the tomatoes I'm starting from seed are plants that I've got, or seeds that I've gotten over the years from Baker Creek Seed Company. But I am going to plant some new varieties to me this year that some viewers were generous enough to send me seeds for. These are from Charm City Balcony Gardens channel. She shared these seeds with me, and I'm really excited to grow them. If you haven't checked her channel out, please go and do so. She's got a great channel on container gardening, and she plants some amazing things in containers, so definitely check her out. The other couple varieties I'm going to plant are from Praxis from his seed giveaway, which I know many of you probably participated in as well. And he sent some great seeds out this year, and I also have a packet left over from last year, which is my very favorite tomato so far. It's a yellow cherry. It's super sweet and delicious. So I'm really excited to get these seeds started. Let me show you how to get started. What I like to do is plant them in these little red solo cups. Now, if you don't already have these around your house, you can buy a fairly large size pack at Target for around $4. You can get them anywhere, Walmart, wherever you happen to see these. Costco for a super duper big pack if you want to plant a whole lot of seeds. But how I like to start is by, of course, putting a drainage hole in the bottom. Very important that you have adequate drainage for your plants. So, super simple. You take a nail, you take a hammer of some kind, and you simply pound a hole in the bottom, and there you have it. So easy, couldn't be easier. So, then next you want to fill your cup about 3/4 of the way full with soil. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up, and I fill it about 3/4 of the way full because I am going to add soil to this cup as the tomato seed grows. The reason why I do this is because tomatoes will put down roots wherever their stems touch the soil. So as they grow, I will add soil to the cup. The tomatoes will put down roots along the stem, and the tomato plant will be nice and strong before I transplant it out in the garden. So now for the seeds. The first seed I'm going to plant, and I am super excited about these tomatoes. I have heard so much about these. They're wonderful tomatoes. They're the San Marzano variety, and I'm really excited to plant these because I make a ton of spaghetti sauce out of my tomatoes. And from what I have heard, the San Marzano is one of the best tasting tomatoes for spaghetti sauce. So I'm super excited to grow these for the first time this year in my garden. So all you need to do is pour a couple of seeds into your hand. And I'm going to plant about 4 seeds in each little cup. You can see these seeds are super, super tiny. All you need to do is, where's my nail, is make a little indentation. I just like to plant 2 seeds on either side of the cup, and that way you hope that one of them germinates. Usually I'll get 2 or 3 germinating per cup. And then I can just take the strongest seedling and plant that one out in the garden. Okay, I just dropped my 2 little seeds into each hole. I'm going to cover them up there. And let me put these extra seeds back in the envelope. And then how I like to water them is I have this water bottle here, which I have filled with water, and I have uncapped it and let it sit for about 24 hours. And the reason why I do that is because it allows all the chlorine to evaporate out of the water, and it's a lot better for your plants if you're not putting chlorine onto them. So then what I do is I cap it, and this is so handy, you can leave it right next to your seedlings. And I've taken this nail and I just pound about 3 holes right into the lid, and it makes a little handy dandy waterer, your own little watering bottle for your plant. And then you can see it just waters it real gently. Get it nice and moist. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to do is definitely label the tomato variety that you planted, because if you're planting a lot of varieties like me, you're not going to remember. So I'm just going to write on my cup San Marzano. And I like to write the date on here because, oops, it's February, because I like to see how quickly they germinate, and that way it lets me know when I can put them outside as well. So we're going to set this here in this reflective aluminum foil baking pan. Maybe you have some of these around your house as well, like I do. And I'm going to go ahead and get this pan planted out with the red Solo cups, and we'll be right back. Okay, I've got my tomato seeds started in my red Solo cups here in this aluminum foil pan. And one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, which is very important, is when to start your tomato seeds. Now, I like to start mine about 8 weeks before I'm going to put them out in the garden. And you want to make sure you check your last frost date in your area and start them about 8 weeks before that. But it's important not only to look at your last frost date, but what the average temperature is at nighttime around that time of the year we're going to be getting them into the ground. For example, I'm going to plan on planting these in the ground around April 1st. Now, we really don't get much frost around here except for very light frosts. But around April 1st is when the nighttime temperatures start being around 50 degrees or higher. And tomatoes need warmer weather at night. And so that's a really good time to go ahead and get them planted into the ground. So these seedlings will grow and sprout probably in about a week or so. But until they do, I'm going to make a little mini greenhouse here out of a couple of pieces of saran wrap. And all I'm going to do is just fold this saran wrap over this aluminum foil pan, and that will keep the moisture and the temperature high underneath here and will help these little seeds germinate just a little bit quicker. So let me show you where I'm going to put this tray now to help my seeds germinate. Let's go into the kitchen. Okay, I like to put my tray of seeds on top of the refrigerator until they germinate with my little mini greenhouse cover here, because it tends to be a little bit warmer on top of the refrigerator, and I just think it kind of helps them along a little bit. Plus it just gets them out of my way. So there we have it. Take about a week for them to germinate. As soon as they germinate, you want to definitely take this cover off, because otherwise they will get too hot and die. Now let me show you where I like to put them after they germinate. Well, a lot of people use indoor grow lights or an indoor grow room for their seedlings, and I don't have any grow lights, so I just use what I have, and that's my south-facing window. This window gets a ton of sun, maybe 8 hours a day, so this is where I keep all of my seedlings until they're ready to go outside into my mini greenhouse. And these tomatoes actually started on the 15th of January, which is about 2 weeks ago. They're already doing very well. So that's all there is to it. It's quick, simple, inexpensive way to start your tomato seeds indoors. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.